Oh yes, welcome back to another Let's Talk Habs video series with the hockey coach guru, Coach FRENCHY, for the Hockey Nation Live Show. Today we're going to review and preview the upcoming week also for the Montreal, so don't go nowhere. Stay with me. I'm going to give you everything what you need to know for your Bleu, Blanc, Rouge. And before we start, of course, click on the likes and please share this video with all your friends and tell me what you think about the Montreal Canadiens, what they did last week and what is coming for them. So let's dive in right away talking about this. And the first thing I want to mention to you is, of course, I want to talk about the weekly from February 28 to March 6. We're going to talk about the review game, the Habs plan, the Zuski on fire, the injury update, the preview for upcoming week, the 4-star of the week, the prospect update, and finally the trade deadline. That's what we're going to talk about this during this video. First thing, the Montreal Canadiens, that's last week, 2-1-0. And Winnipeg, they lost for the first time after they went 5 prior to that game, and they snapped the 5-game W by losing by a score 8-4. Crazy game, to be honest with you. The Jets scored 4 goals at the beginning, the first 10 minutes. The Montreal come back with 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the first period, 4-3. Montreal tied the game 4-4. But at the end of the second period, they score. Max Sheffley keep the lead for the Winnipeg Jets. And the Montreal could not come back. They scored 3 more goals for the Jets to win that game 8-4. Montembeault get removed after the 7th goal after 4 minutes and 11 seconds at the third period, and Hammond came back. But Montreal come back, show again characters, and surprise the hottest team in NHL. It was like 9-1-0 the last 10 game. They won the last 11 game at home, and also the first time they gave 5 goals at home. And finally, Montreal win 5-4 against the Flames. They find a way to steal that W. And what a performance. And Andrew Hammond, obviously, he got hurt during that game. But the Montreal, when Hammond got 3 straight W with the Habs. Finally, Sunday night at Edmonton again, McDavid and Tressaro. Montreal find a way to win 5-2. And show and Mike Smith where maybe it's time for him to be retired. Another bad performance for Smith. Another controversy situation in Edmonton about the goaltender, unfortunately. But again, Montreal with Zuski with a 1 goal, 2 assists gave that W. And also Montreal for the first time have a game with 2 power play goals. Gallagher have 1 goal, 1 assist. Finally, Montreal win the 7 of the last 8 games. And also, they are 8 in the Atlantic Division. And at that moment, they are 31 in ranking in NHL. What you need to know is that the Habs plan, because of their success at the last couple of weeks, honestly, do they going to keep now everything? Do they going to make some change? Or they maybe go some trade? I believe nothing changed for their plan. What are you talking about? Martin Saint-Louis was hired to evaluate everybody in the team. Each players, what they look like, what their behaviors, what they do off ice, on ice, what kind of person they are on the locker room, and from the one he coached behind the bench. All those situations does not change. That's the plan for the Montreal Canadiens. Does not change also the plan for what Ken Hughes is looking for the next couple of years. They try to hiring a lot of people, player director, new player director development. That's another one they're looking for. They got it. They hire Adam Nicola last week, become the director of player development. So they continue what they're supposed to do. Nothing changed. Now, for the trade deadline, could happen. We're going to talk about this next couple of minutes. But I still believe that plan, whatever they are successful or not, does not change in my eyes. So I want to bring to you, because people, we should maybe now keep everybody or maybe not trade anybody. Everything like that. I do not think the plan changed in my eyes at that moment. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is the Nick Zuski on fire. What are you talking about? Look, guys, Zuski, the last 12 games, he has 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points under Martin Saint-Louis. The last 3 games, he has 2 goals, 5 assists, and 7 points. what is great for me for what I look about Suzuki, he improved so much overall on the different looking at different place. Face off, first of all, better number. The way he played on the defensive side, I'll cut the passing from opponent team, the way he retrieved the puck, the movement transition, the breakout. Those details of the game we don't see, but we can look about analytic number are amazing. His chin percentage of passing the puck on offensive zone is increasing. For me, his game is so much better today compared like 1 year ago. He become also the top players for the Montreal Canadiens, and I think for me, he showed at that moment. And for me, and I think under Martin St. Louis, he find his confidence. I think he find a way now to enjoy it, to have a great time. And of course, the player like Anderson and Caulfield with him on this, his teammate on this line, have a great success right now under Martin St. Louis. For me, Suzuki is on fire right now. The next thing I want to talk about is we got a kind of injury update from the staff on the Montreal. First of all, Andrew Hammond is out. He's now on ER. He's got hurt during game against the Flame. Primo got called up to become the backup number 2. The Carey Price back on the ice. We heard back his Price is back on the ice with his goalie coach. He's getting a couple of reps at that moment. Edmonton returns soon. I would not be surprised if Edmonton is on the lineup Friday night. Wednesday night, the next game, is getting closer and closer and closer. They bring from Montreal to Vancouver after the game Saturday night. They bring Dvorak, Drouin, Biron back with the team, practice with the team now for the next couple of days. They have 3 days off, and they want, I think, bonding the team and to them to know those players stop back. Now they practice with the team with no color jersey, but no contact. So that's what we have right now at that moment for the injuries. The next one I want to talk about the trade deadline. We know Chariot, Kulak are UFA. We know Likonen, Petrie are right now on discussion to maybe to get trade. Likonen is a RFA. Petrie have a contract of 4 years at 6.25, I believe. Gallagher, Hoffman, Drouin, 3 players right now, they possibly can trade at some point. The rest are UFA, Perrault, Paquette, and Whiteman. 3 players with support utilities for the Montreal Canadiens. Return injury soon. All what I just mentioned to you, I believe the Montreal Canadiens have 3 players they could trade or maybe could be trade before the end of the trade deadline. Is Chariot, Kulak, and Likonen. I don't see anything else at that moment. Now, during the offseason, we can see a Petrie out, all right? And then Gallagher, Hoffman, Drouin, one of the 3 right there. Decision for goaltender, don't worry about that. Until Carey Price take a decision during the offseason, nothing would change. Now, we have also here about Weber. I don't want to talk about this right now. I'm going to make another video this week about Shea Weber trade. The rest are UFA. Those 3 players not going to return with Montreal Canadiens. The return injury soon. So one Dvorak return, one Drouin return, one Jake Allen return. I think at that moment is going to be some possibilities. There are some other player called return in Laval, and some will be on the waiver. So it'll be interesting what kind of move Montreal can do. The Pesara, the Drouin, the Dauphin, and Paquette. I believe 3 players could be on the waiver at some point. Now, the Montreal Canadiens, the fourth star of the week, guys, is Laurent Dauphin. We know Jake Evans got hurt also Thursday night, and again, the Calgary Flame. I forgot to mention this earlier. And Dauphin stepped up again, the Edmonton. He was the second center. He did a great job again with Gallagher and Hoffman. He was a 39 overall pick by the Arizona Phoenix. He played about 45 games in NHL with them. The 26 years old, never been a player a full time in NHL. At that moment, his work ethic, the way he work on the ice, the speed he has bring this kid elevate his game for the Montreal Canadiens. At that moment, he helped the Montreal Canadiens where they're missing a couple of players. But The kid is limited. No really good, a lot of stick angling. His IQ vision is limited. And unfortunately, I see for him maybe one day stay in NHL as a fourth line. But again, his face-off is very low. He have a not great number. Is below at 42% right now. I think that's another way he will need to improve if he wants to stay in NHL. He's good on PK, but again, it's maybe not good enough to stay full-time in NHL. But I want to mention him as a 4-star for the Montreal Canadiens this week. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to disappear right now, is the HABS prospect review and who did very well. We know Caulfield have a good week with the Montreal Canadiens. The last couple of games. Strobel guy have a great game Saturday night or Friday night. I apologize. He have 1 goal, 2 assists, and he did not show a lot of offensive during the season. But good for him to see him a couple of points. Kidney at 5 points last game with 5 assists Saturday night. Cooley continues to performing on both ways with another point, but also he played a lot of minutes with Edmonton Oil King. And finally, Savoie, a prospect for NHL, have a 1 point on the last 3 games he played at that moment. Rest, not much, to be honest with you. Wright is very quiet. Mayo, Logan Mayo have a 0 point in the last 3 games. He fight yesterday, but again, overall, nothing much. He shot a lot of puck. I'm concerned about Norlander. Play only 15 minutes at 10 minutes over there. He struggled, I'll be honest with you, in the SHL at that moment. The last one I want to mention to you is what is coming from the Montreal Canadiens. They are off until Wednesday night. They play at 10:30 Eastern Time, late game again the Vancouver Canucks. Then they come back at home and they will complete their 5-trip game. They are right now 3-1. They play Saturday and Sunday, back-to-back games. Saturday against the Seattle Kraken, the first time they are in Montreal. This is the second game of the year against them. Then they play against the Flyers Sunday. Also, both games start at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So, another great week for the Montreal Canadiens. But before we leave, I want to mention, guys, about what's going on under Martin Saint-Louis. Some players step up a lot. First of all, St. Louis is, after 12 games, 8-4 with 16 points, a winning percentage at .650. But Luke Caulfield is just key. 16 points under Martin St. Louis. Anderson at 14. Then we have Likonen, guys, 9 points. We have Chariot 7, Hoffman 8, Petrie 7, Pitlick 6, and Gallagher now is at 3 points. The last 2 games, as you can see, a couple of them players step up. And the way St. Louis coach the offensive back for the Montreal Canadiens. Before him, he was the goal 4. It was only 2.20. Since that, it's almost at 3.25. So big change with Martin St. Louis behind the bench. Guys, hopefully this video, you'll enjoy it. This is all about the Montreal Canadiens. We're reviewing the week and what's coming for them. Big week for them. 3 teams. Where they are below of the 500 winning percentage. So it'll be interesting how Montreal is going to act. We'll play against them. And we'll see the result for the next video for the Let's Talk Abs series with the hockey coach, Guru Coach FRENCHY. And before we leave, we want to remind you, don't forget to subscribe, click on the likes, and tell me what you think about the Montreal Canadiens. And you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great week, everybody. I look forward next week to talk about the Montreal Canadiens.